What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Response on Play. We're here at the top of this really large clock. I think we're near Leeds, trying to be near Leeds. Anyway, I'm James.
I'm Steph with ice cream on my face. Sea salt ice cream.
I'm Jake, and I think this is Big Ben. Not sure. I didn't ask.
We're a couple people short tonight, it looks like. So our good friend Brian, he's actually at a convention right now and helping demo the game. He's working with Levi, the old Levi Lalonde, and they are working together to kind of hopefully get him some more people into this game, bringing it to the masses. So hopefully that's going well. We'll hear about it some more next week when Brian's back with us. And looking over there, it kind of looks like Andrew might be taken away by a seagull. I'm not sure what's going on over there. But anyway, we're here today. We're going to talk about a few things that are going on. Firstly, EU Nats is happening right now. They're going to about do top cuts here in a few hours, I believe. They're supposed to start. We have the meta breakdown, though, and it's a little surprising.
Is it surprising?
Maybe not to some people. Maybe not to some stands out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know about surprising at all. This is, well, there's like one on
Yeah.
here that I'm kind of like,
There is also one for me where I'm like, I wonder if it's the same one. What's yours? On three, we'll say it at the same time.
Well, we can't. Well, hold on.
Okay.
We can't steal James's thunder.
with the cat at the bag, yeah, we'll get to it.
All right.
We're gonna start.
Okay.
We're gonna start. Let's just
Okay.
jump into it. We're gonna start with Steph's favorite right here. Meta breakdown: 16.2% Godzilla King of the Monsters.
That's right, baby.
Crazy. That is an impressive amount. I think that's the highest percentage that we've seen in a while, right?
Kneel. That's what I say.
Don't like that.
Kneel to Godzilla.
To the king.
With my experiences, especially even just this last week with Godzilla, no thanks. Would you like to run us back down through the list, James? Please,
Yeah.
get us away from this one.
So, 16.2% Godzilla, 10.3% Bertolt Hoover Living Weapon, 2 at 4.4%, Himiko Toga 3, and Bertolt Hoover 1. We have 4 characters at 2.9%, Reiner Braun Warrior, Izuki Midoriya on the Move, Kenny Ackerman, The Ripper, and Recovery Girl. And then 52.9% of the field is other.
Oh, Recovery Girl. I hate seeing her on
Recovery
this
Girl,
list.
indeed.
That's not my surprising one, but I don't like seeing her on here.
All
Well,
right.
What's surprising? What do we got?
All right. Steph, on 3.
Okay. Wait, on 3 or on go?
On go.
Okay,
We'll do
all right.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, count us down.
1, 2, 3, go.
Kenny Ackerman, the Ripper. Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised, but like happy surprised because he was one I was looking at. I think like I mentioned it a few podcast episodes ago that like
Mm-hmm.
he had some cool stuff in his kit with like I don't remember what it was it gosh, what was it? Solo leveling. I think it was the solo leveling stuff. Yeah, that was
they
when
had
I
that
mentioned
asset that burns.
Yeah, the asset
and
was really
Kenny burns,
cool,
so.
and he had the response attack was really cool. So I'm curious to see what these decks are to see if they're utilizing those. I imagine they are, but Kenny was one that I was looking at. So like when I get bored of Godzilla, might shift to that, but probably not because of Exandria. We'll see.
Yeah, we don't have a top cuts list just yet as a time of recording, so I am interested to see how the meta actually made it into top cuts, how many of these actually converted, and what those decks look like, because that's going to be very interesting.
As far as like characters on this list, I'm interested to see the 52.9% others. I'm surprised Mimic isn't a little higher on this list, with everybody talking about how good Mimic is recently. But every other character on this list outside of Kenny, I'm not really super surprised. There's good reason for quite a few of them. I wasn't expecting so much Godzilla on this list. And like James, I'm interested to see top 8 or top 16. I think it's top 8 for this one.
It is top 8. Yep.
So I'm interested to see that. But I mean, the rest of these characters are really solid, obviously. We've been doing some play testing, and I hopefully don't see this bigger proportion of Godzilla at in ANATs. it's a rough match for me, for sure.
I think it's a rough match for everybody.
That's fair. And Recover Girl can not be on any list and can stay away from me. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting seeing the difference between the breakdown of OCE and this one where we had Mimic at 10% of the field. Sasha was 8%. Like, those characters aren't even on this list.
Yeah, it's really interesting that they're not on the list. I mean, I wasn't expecting to see Vax and Jester. I think those are OCE exclusives, if you will. They seem to be having a better run of it over there. Mimic is a big surprise because, like I said, I think Mimic is getting talked about a lot right now, and I expect to see him as part of the pie graph here in the U.S.
Oh, for sure.
But I feel like this is just going to get a little bit more squinched. We'll see Mimic in here, and this looks very familiar to what I think ours is going to look like. Any final thoughts on meta breakdown before we move to the next one?
My final thought is I wonder how our UK versus Friends did, because they would have been playing in this one. We just got off a podcast episode with them last week. It was really fun. So I'm going to reach out to them for sure tomorrow if I figure out time zones to find out when it's evening for them and see how it went. Because I wonder who played who.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that for sure. Keeping on track with the organized play here, we do have the release of the organized play schedule for 2025. Going through it, of course, we have Nat season right now, and then Worlds in February. From there, we've got all new stuff. There are 10 total regionals this year. Starting in March, we'll have one in Denver, Colorado. April will be South UK. May is going to be South USA. They've got PAX, and then they've also got UK Games Expo listed here. So there may be one in the UK for May as well. June is going to be Melbourne, Australia. July, we'll have a Midwest USA. August will be Europe and Canberra, Australia, as well as it looks like Gen Con. It's on this list here. September will be the first Canada regional. Excited to see that. I know there's been some, outcry from the Canadian scene of, they never get a regional. You got one this year, so that's good to see. October will hold the Southeast USA. They've got another PAX event listed here. November is the Northern UK. Again, PAX Unplugged for that one. And then December will be the final regional of the year in Northeast USA. Some of these have cities. Like I said, we got Denver. The other ones are just kind of regions. I think we can maybe make some guesses here. I assume, Northeast US, we've got Rochester up there, of course. So be a little surprised if maybe they're not holding that one, but we'll see with more information coming.
Yeah, I'm guessing Canada is going to be in Toronto because that's where Red Riot is, and I think they've sponsored, they've been at a couple Nats, right? Where they've showed up. I know that they have a lot of Universus product. So
yeah, I know a while back Tam talked with them and they said that they were really big in wanting to organize these events. So I do hope that they got that and that they're going to be the ones hosting it. But I guess we'll see with some more.
That's my guess. Also, Toronto is pretty central. It would be kind of strange if they just have it in BC or I don't know, what's the place on the east? New Brunswick, right? Is that the eastern province? Canada? You guys know Canada geography at all?
Nope.
Of course not.
Not at all.
3 Americans sitting on Big Ben in Leeds, UK.
You can tell we've got our geography down. We're always really close to where we want to be.
Oh, yeah.
Always very close to where we want to be. Never missed.
Yeah,
this is really exciting, though. I like to see, them following up on what they say. We wanted more regionals, and we got them.
Yeah, I see a really healthy mix of regionals that are just by themselves and regionals that are partnered with a convention. Like I've mentioned before, I really liked it when it was at Level Up Expo, so I'm excited about that. And I've been to a PAX before. I went to PAX in San Antonio a couple years ago, and it was super fun. So I'm excited to check out a convention when I scrub out one of these regionals.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. When you're at an event, going to the events themselves are fun. I had fun in Atlanta, but when you're at an event, while also doing the regionals, it's a lot of fun. And like you said, when you scrub out, when you're kind of I've had my mental load for the day, and in between rounds or you have a bye or anything like that, it's really fun to be able to go and do the convention stuff, especially if you don't make top cut, because you can do a couple side events and then still check everything out.
Yep. Yeah, I had a buy in Atlanta, and I just kind of sat in the corner and waited for an hour. So it'd be really cool to be able to go
Yeah.
check some things out while I'm waiting.
It's like so anxiety inducing too. Like I don't know if I've ever had a bye in like a big tournament, but like I've had games that ended quick either because I beat them or they beat me, and it was like I don't know, just like sitting there with nothing but my thoughts for like 30 minutes kind of sucked. I'm gonna be honest, but at least in like when in Vegas, like I just walked around Artist Alley and like spent money. It was a little retail therapy on cute little knickknacks.
Cute little knickknacks.
There was also food very close by, so I went and got some like convention food.
Blah.
Not a fan of the convention food?
Not a fan of convention food. I've been at plenty of conventions. Done a few, worked a few, worked some state fairs. Well, state fairs aren't as bad. I don't know. I feel like I gained like 20 pounds working at a state fair.
Yeah, what
like,
the hell did you do at the state fair? What?
There's shop I used to work for, been the state fair every year.
Oh, actually, that makes sense. Okay, I forgot that they
Yeah.
have like indoor like shopping thingies.
Yeah, so I worked and vent that, but like so like my lunch, like you can't DoorDash stuff to the state fair.
You gotta go get one of
and,
those
like,
2-foot long corn dogs.
Yeah, so like every day, trying to eat something, and by like the second or third day you've eaten fair food, you're just like, oh my god,
Just want to die.
I just want to die. Like, how many times can I eat? How many times can I eat a ham bone, like a giant ham leg, for
Gosh,
Sounds like paradise. It's because you didn't stop and buy the fudge.
true.
Okay,
True.
you don't know that, but
I
like,
can tell because you didn't have a good time.
you got me.
Dude, fair corn dogs. I want a fair corn dog now. They're so good. They're so good.
All right, well, we'll make it a special trip when we go to Nats.
Okay.
We'll get a
Deal.
fair corn dog at Nats.
Deal.
Let's go.
But I don't know. This list looks good. I'm hoping, like, we've already gotten some details about the Denver regional, which is nice considering it's January. We don't know too much, but more than we usually do. Usually we start getting details like a month before,
Yeah.
and it's just like, how do I ask off? Like, I probably won't get to go to the Denver one. I can't see a line where I would get to, unfortunately. Taking off for Nats and then trying to take off for Worlds. If I don't end up getting to attend Worlds, then maybe I'll try to go to Denver, but it's all too close. Like, you're talking January, February, and then that one's in March.
Yep.
That's 3 months of events. Like, that's back to back, which, don't get me wrong, it's not intended for people to go to every single regional. I believe it's supposed to be for like, oh, well, you should hit a regional when it's in your area, probably like 2 or 3. But I would like to try to be at as many as possible. I really enjoy the game.
Yeah. Well, so after March, it's like staggered. So like every other is going to be in the US. So there's Denver, and then April is the UK, and then May is the US, and then it goes to another country. So like at least they're kind of giving us a break in between. It's just that like right after, it's like Nats Worlds and then a regional, like rapid fire.
Yeah,
That's like the complicated
definitely.
one.
So here's my thing. We're getting a US regional in March.
Mm-hmm.
The new set Exandria comes out in March, doesn't it? So we're gonna have like what, 2 weeks to play with it before the regional?
Well, unless it's in early March, because it comes out March 7th. So the regional could be
March
like
7th. Yeah, so I guess if the regional's at like the last few days in March, maybe, because I mean, even if they have it on the last week, like the 21st, that's 2 weeks.
Well, it could be like the first day of March, it could be anytime that first week. Well, any weekend that first week, I guess. I don't know what the calendar looks like for it, but like they could do it before Exandria comes out.
Are you talking about the regional?
Yeah.
No, they won't have a regional before because this is the 2025 season. So Exandria is going to start the 2025 season. So I highly doubt that they would have a regional before Exandria comes out.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah, I guess so. Gotta get good. Practice up.
Mm-hmm. I
All
have
right.
a request for this before we move on to
Sure.
anybody listening to this, not reading this. I don't know if anybody else has run into this, but I really wish that Universus would post like an article at the same time that they do these infographics. I love infographics. I'm a visual person. Not everybody's a visual person. Not everybody can be a visual person. So trying to advocate for accessibility a little bit here for the people who can't read infographics or to struggle to, or they use like screen readers. I think it would be great if we could have just like a plain text option to go alongside it. That way everybody can kind of read this. And I know some people even struggle to read infographics and kind of understand what's going on with them. That is my little bit of feedback for anybody who might hear it. Or if I'm just talking to the void, that's fine too.
No, that's great. Yeah, I mean, more accessibility is always good, and I think it's also just easier to read like a text article. So I think having that option would be good for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then with that, let's move on to speaking of articles or at least questions. Universus recently posted on their Twitter asking, "How do we play Universus? What symbols do we like to use and play around?" And thought that was really interesting. I kind of wanted to bring that up to you guys. Wanted to talk about your 2 favorite symbols that you like to build on, and then one deck from each of those symbols that has been your favorite.
Steph, is he talking to us or is he talking to the people at home?
Both? Answer in the
Both?
comments? Well, probably should answer on Twitter first. Universes. We don't want to just like snipe their audience. No, comment to us. Don't worry about them. Don't look at them.
Don't look at them.
We are Universes now.
Yeah. I'm guessing he's asking us.
Okay.
Yeah. Jake?
You starting with me? Bold choice. My 2 favorite symbols are probably fire and I want to say death. I'm really torn up between death and order here. Fire for sure, just because go fast. I had a lot of fun messing with the new Aaron on fire and doing the mill stuff. I didn't realize how much I really liked it until I put that deck together. Beforehand, I would have said like good, but good has gotten like no real support ever. So we hurt now here for good cards. And then death, dude, I had a blast with the Aaron from AOT1, like being able to destroy both our stages. Like that's exactly what I wanted on a character, like fun, big damage, but in like a really control-y way. So yeah, I usually build death. Like I built Best Genist on death also, and
Yeah, I
tried to
remember
do
that.
I tried to do like a stage destruction like control, which was a lot of fun. But I also had a lot of fun, like you said, with fire and like being able to put a billion speed on everything.
Okay. So we got fire, death, and then Aaron. Different Aarons on both symbols.
Yeah, both Aarons, both of the more recent Aarons on both symbols. A lot of fun there.
Steph, what about you?
This is gonna be the most boring, predictable answer ever. I really like chaos and I really like earth.
Chaos.
Take a
Chaos
guess.
and Earth.
Take a guess who's on chaos and earth. One guess. You get one.
Is it Bertolt?
Let's see. I know
Close.
Amajiki's a really good character on Chaos.
But is he on earth?
It's
they've
we
got
got it's the
they've
same
got-
character on
Yeah,
Earth.
he's got both
Chaos?
symbols.
Oh wow, we got to be
Oh.
talking about Maid Lady 2 then, right?
Yeah,
Who?
probably.
Who?
Your favorite character, Mount Lady 2.
Miss Mountain the second.
Mrs. Mountain.
All right. Enlighten us. Who are we talking about here?
You know it's my boy Godzilla. He's on both of
course.
them. He's
I
on
would have
both.
never guessed.
He's on both. I debated saying Bakugo on Death, but I only ever played one. Or no, he was on Void, I think, when I played him, right?
He
it
was on
Death?
Void when you played him.
But I've only ever played Bakugo on Void, and I don't know what Void tries to do. I think I kind of know what... I mean, I know pretty well what Chaos tries to do. It plays Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken and Walk the Dog. Like, that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Earth is like what the throw symbol? Like, is that kind of what we can call that one?
Yeah, as in you're throwing if you play anything on Earth right now. Like,
Damn.
talk about no support.
Damn.
Well, I absolutely slam dunk. Stop playing the air symbol. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. This is a public service announcement for your y'all at home. Do not play the air symbol. Don't be tricked by Steph because Godzilla has the air symbol. No one's playing on that symbol.
That's not true. There's
All right, we got
dozens.
16% of the players here. You think not a single one of them brought Godzilla on the Earth symbol?
I don't think
I don't think any of them did. I want to see it.
Honest. Yeah, I have the
has it.
receipts on that.
Yeah, my big thing is like I don't get me wrong, I don't mind smaller set design, but like I've played Card Fight Vanguard back before Standard, and like with 20 something different, they're called clans. So like you have to balance around each clan. So like every like set, you'd have like 3 to 4 clans in a set. Well, what that meant is your clan was pretty good as soon as you got support. Then the next booster set would come out, and those clans are really good. And then the next booster set would come out, and those clans are really good. And you're like, and most of the time, instead of bringing them all up to one level, they would just crank them up a little bit so they were better than the last. So by the time it got time, about a year later, for you to get support, unless you were one of like the main character clans, your clan kind of sucked for like a while. So you would be like, oh yeah, I'm sitting here struggling to be able to kill my opponent, and like every other month, the main character's faction is just getting all the cool stuff, which is kind of how I feel about the AOT, 1 and 2. Like they didn't switch symbols between them, so we got 2 sets where the same symbols were supported. And I feel like there are several symbols that weren't really in a particularly good place to begin with when they started doing this. And then so they just went, yeah, I know you'd probably like to play good in some of these cards before they rotate out, but
Yeah, I mean, good's kind of been gutted since set 1 rotated.
yeah,
Like-
good is borderline unplayable. I've played a couple of things on good. My edge shot list is on good, but only because it has access to some of the fire cards and stuff on attuned. So like it's certain combo pieces, but if I didn't have those attuned fire cards, if attuned wasn't a thing, I wouldn't be able to play the deck. I think there are definitely just symbols that need a lot of love, and they need a lot of love pretty quickly, because it's getting really sad when I go to build a deck and I go, well, it doesn't have one of the new supported symbols, so I'm looking at stuff 5 sets back or whatever it is. It's like it's not that far back, but I'm looking at all these releases back, and I'm going, okay, well, I haven't had anything for this symbol in a long time, so like where's my real support? Like the Tekken decks, I think, had some good stuff on them, but it's like the random good punch card here or the random whatever, like no big game changers.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke about that when we saw that AOT2 was going to be the same symbols again. I was like, I really would have, like, I understand what they're doing with, they want certain IPs to have certain symbols for thematic reasons. But I think when it comes to like a game design space, like you have to, when you have these characters that have multiple symbols and there's 12 symbols in the game, like you have to support them all at least a little bit. Otherwise, these other ones are just going to get left behind. And either in a game where we care about letting you play your favorite character, if you're not getting support on the symbol that your character's good on, or the character or the symbol you like to play on that character, you just don't get any support for multiple sets. It's kind of a feel bad moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say it feels good to be a Godzilla gamer right now.
That you're loving all those chaos cards.
Yeah.
Shit, chaos eating real good right now.
Chaos
yeah.
is eating real good.
Don't get me wrong, as much as that all sounds like negative and doom, but like it's kind of true, because like I'm seeing all the cool cards. Like Chaos has got good cards, like Determined Advance. That card's nuts.
Yeah, it is.
That card got played on me the other day, and I just went, well, I guess I'm gonna die now.
Guess I'll die.
So like it's cool seeing like they're doing good. Like some of these card designs are good, and that's what makes me want some of these cards for these other symbols. Is I'm hoping that in Ninja Turtles, like we'll get good, and some of the, and like water and stuff. Like some of these sets, these symbols that aren't getting anything too crazy. Water even got a couple of cool things actually in the upper level decks. I feel like good is really not in a good spot right now, and Earth is not in a great spot right now. I think are the two like worst. But I think most other stuff has gotten some amount of whatever, but like most of it's not too good. But I'm hoping we get some really sick good cards in Turtles.
For sure. All right. For me, I think it's gonna have to be Chaos and Death are my 2 symbols. I back in the day I used to play Chaos Tokoyami, and then played a little bit of tried to make Nejire work, and played Amajiki a little bit. Like I'll always love the Chaos symbol. I like the things that it does, and it's just going crazy. Like we said, it's going crazy right now. Death for me, I hold a special place in my heart because I had my two favorite characters at the time, and subsequently the favorite version of their decks, both Eraserhead and Bakugo 1 had the death symbol, and had of course there was the regional winning Eraserhead list with Twisting Azure and everything. That deck was super fun. Personally, I ran Bakugo with his Furies and had Eraserhead in the side. It was always a lot of fun. So those are definitely ones that are near and dear to my heart. Wrapping that up here, I do want to move on. It looks like we do have some reveals for the upcoming set,
Card
Exandria.
reveals, so many new reveals.
We do. We got quite a few. Going down the list here, want to start off with the characters. Oh,
Hold on, James. I think you're forgetting
yeah.
one thing.
Are we?
Yeah. We'd like to take a moment and remind everybody that these reveals also come from fellow content creators, and we'd love for you to go support their content, go give them a view, subscribe to them, and check them out. We will hopefully have links in the description of this YouTube channel video. And go check them out, please.
Yeah, so definitely go check out the other content creators. Like I said, we're going to try our best to link them down in the description. But getting into it here, I do want to start off with the characters. We had quite a few. It looks like there's 4 characters that got revealed. So start with them here. First on the list is Beauregard Lionette Expositor. 6 hand size, 29 health, key with the trait Brawler, Mighty 9, and Spy, and have the symbols Earth, Fire, and Water. They have an enhance once per turn, your turn, discard 1 attack, and check a 6 as cost. And then you add the top 2 cards of your deck to your card pool face down as mid attacks with 3 speed, 3 damage, and the kick, punch, and slam keywords, and then add them to the attack stack.
Yeah, I am gonna say those attacks do sound pretty mid.
What the hell is an attack stack? Is this new?
It is, from a mode I understand, when one attack resolves, you go to the next attack in the stack, and then.
Oh
So
my
basically,
god, are we
you
doing
can't-
magic stacking? Like
No,
this is
okay.
more. I think Andrew said this previously, but it works kind of like multiple, if I'm correct.
Damn, too bad Andrew's getting carried away by seagulls right now.
Yeah, he probably has something to say about this, but
shout louder, Andrew,
Multiple's pretty
please.
cool, I guess.
tell us what multiple is.
So let me fill in. Let me push up my glasses and pretend to be Andrew here for a second. Actually, the attack stack is, the attacks will resolve in the order at which they're played. So you actually won't get to play another attack or another action in between these attacks. I don't believe you're even allowed to disrupt these actions. End quote.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty
That's
sure
spot
that's how
on.
that works. Yeah, I've been practicing for a long time. It's so hard being the cool brother. It really is.
Wait, you guys are related?
Oof. Boy, James, I have a couple things to tell you.
No, so basically, what? So we go to block, it resolves, and then the next attack immediately fires, and then it goes through block, resolve, and then the final one, and then you can play another attack.
Yes, unless your block causes some little mini game in between, because responses can interrupt the flow of gameplay.
Okay. Interesting. So this would be something that you could use on, like, say you play 3-4 attacks, and then you once per turn you have 2 more after it, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I still don't totally get it, but I trust you guys. Also, my first reaction is there's a lot of words on this character, so I'm not going to play him.
Okay,
there are.
valid.
There's even more words. There's a second enhanced on this character.
Oh my god.
Enhance, commit 1 foundation, your face-up kick, punch, or slam attack gets +1 damage for each attack in your card pool.
Okay, that's pretty easy. I understand.
I like this character quite a bit.
Yeah, I think they're interesting, for sure. What's piquing your interest?
I think slinging a lot of attacks always something I like to do. Plus, enhanced commit 1 foundation, so being able to just +1 for every attack in your card pool, because I believe these attacks count in your card pool. Yeah, they do. They become tied. You put the cards in your whatever for your card pool, and they are specifically keyworded. So
They are keyworded. They don't get the stats though because they're not face up. So
yes,
you
correct.
have to, so that there would be a reason to play a regular attack, play these two, and then add your 2 cards in, and then play, a separate real attack that way you could give it the stats.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see parts of her kit that with bouncing some of their stuff or psyching them out, putting blocks and making your opponent block in interesting ways. Anytime I see characters like this that make you kind of think in interesting ways, that's one reason why I like to play Hawks. Is I can put a feather down as an attack, I can put it as a speed boost. I have cards to pick them up. I can amp something speed to hit you for 4, or I can amp something speed and then switch it and hit you for a whole lot for no reason. I like being able to play in interesting ways, on top of just swinging a lot of attacks. So that gives me a lot of interest in this character. Also, fire and water are on this character, which is neat, and earth, which means we'll probably get some really cool cards in those symbols.
There we go, getting some support. Like to see that. Moving on to the next one here, we do have our first 7 hand size for this set of reels. We have Essic Thelius, Expert Dunamancer. Don't quote me on those pronunciations. 7 hand size, 19 health character, mage trait, symbols chaos, void, and water. They have a response and an enhance. Response once per turn, tenacious. Remove 1 action from your discard pile, : after a player makes a check to play a card, they recheck. And then the enhance commit. Your spell attack gains echo.
Nice.
So,
Cool. Next card.
Yeah. Now seeing so getting more echo support. So we have the spell card from the critical roles that say give your next attack echo, and then this character gives echoes. So I have to look and see if they're on the same symbol because now I'm drawing a blank. Let me go investigate that here. But if that does work, we're seeing more echo for sure. And on the chaos symbol, they're going to be snapping momentum.
That's good.
So
I will say, I see a 1 as the first number in a health, and ooh, a little scary. 19 health is pretty low. I can do that damage pretty easy as Godzilla in 1 attack. So it's I don't know. I wonder what has to change with the meta to make these 7-handers viable. Because right now it seems they're just not at all. Maybe there's a couple. I think we talked about this before that were viable, but
yeah, this is a 7 hand size character that has no defensive abilities on their face except for making you recheck.
Yeah.
So, which may or may not matter. That you can't. I don't think we can really call that real defense.
Also, it doesn't. I will note that it doesn't say failing the check does not in the combat step. So if you force them to fail and they can't pass it, they do just get to end their turn.
True.
I will put on my tinfoil hat for a moment. The fact that this guy is wanting the opponent to make a check makes me think that we might get more cards in support of that gameplay strat, which makes me think Dobby 3 viable? Maybe? My only Chrome rare, I can maybe play him?
Yeah,
a little biased here, I see.
Yeah.
Should have a Chromer Hawks like someone else in the group.
Nah,
very playable.
I have the best Chromer.
Really, Chromers are good characters. Anyway, so a couple things here I want to point out. So speaking of the combo spell, Duplicitous Attack, it does share chaos. So those cards can't be played together. We just give echo to everything. Also, the response, it says after they make a check, not after they play a card. So it's not even as good as, think Toru 2, where they have to pay for the check and then recheck. They make the check, you see it's a 5, and you just tell them to recheck. It's not quite as debilitating as it could be. So especially with them having, 7 hand size, 19 health, I'm worried about the defense they're going to be able to conjure up. They do have the water symbol though, so who knows?
Yeah, I think this might be more aggro, perhaps making them fail a block, rather, or not check well on a block, and then giving you the advantage with being able to give your stuff echo. Especially if you can give multiple things echo, that hurts really bad, really fast because of the whole. Any way you can cheat progressive in this game, you're already at some type of advantage. We talked about it quite a bit, about all these cards that kind of just ignore progressive by like removing themselves, or that let you play around one of the core mechanics of the game. So like him getting to go echo, I play this card, cool. I check on a 5 or whatever, cool. This card that's not supposed to have echo, that's not balanced for echo, now has echo. I play it again on a 5, cool. It flips. Now I play this 4 on a 5, and I have some way to give it echo. Cool. It played again on a 5. Cool. I've played 4 attacks, and I've only had 1 progressive.
Yeah, I mean, we think of all the, especially like when we see the chaos symbol, we think about cards that are unfair to give echo to. Determine Advance, Walk the Dog.
Well,
like,
it says your spell attack, so there is.
Oh, it does say spell.
There is some limiting factors.
Okay, not as crazy then, but still. So we'll have to see what comes out with some of the new spells and what broken cards they print there. So yeah, that makes me feel a little bit better. I was seeing some Walk the Dog echoes and just about to lose it.
Just shuddering. No. James becomes a prophet of the end times.
I'm about to start blowing the 7 trumpets out here, like.
Please no. I can't take my opponent playing another Determined Advance.
Dude, I was cooking. I was like, Determined Advance. It steals a momentum. Free echo. Steal a momentum again. Echo something else. Like, I was cooking.
You can still do that, right? Like, you can't echo Determined Advance, but you could still play Determined Advance in this.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Yeah, I think this character really cool. I try 7-handers like Yusuke. I try really hard to play Yusuke. I always go back and forth with trying to put that deck together because like there were games where I just hit my opponent for however much and kill them in one turn, and it just feels so good. I kind of want to go back to putting reps in with it, but I did get rid of that Chrome Rare, so I'm even less inclined to get good with it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish those Chrome Rares were better, but that's a tangent for another day. But yeah, I think 7-handers. I want to see a world where they're good, where they're playable. My brother's done some annoying things with like Toya from Dark Tournament and stuff at locals. So I think there's a realm where it could be. It's just some of these characters just go off so hard for no reason, and they're like 6-hand 30+ health characters.
Yeah, it's really hard to want to play a 19 health character in the like. It's just, is it worth the risk? You know, it's like when you're playing a 19 health character, it's like you almost have to play perfect or like just be extremely defensive because it's like you mess up once, like there's a lot of characters that can do 19 health in one attack. You know, so it's like, is it worth it really? Is he good enough to risk that? Are you a good enough player to risk that? It's just so much safer to play these characters that have 30, 34, 36 health, you know? I mean, that's why I like Godzilla so much, because he just feels so safe.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment for sure. What do you think about the art though on this one, Steph?
Oh my god. I mean, I don't want to be a broken record, but like the art on all of these just looks so good. Like all of these characters, it literally looks like alternate art, like for the characters. Like when I look at alt art for like the MHA characters and like previous sets, this is like the level that I would expect. So I'm like really excited to see what the alt arts for these guys look like and what their chromers look like for these set. Like how can they even go above this? You know, like this just looks so good. I have nothing but good things to say about the art. And also, this guy looks really cool. I think he's a drow, I'm guessing, because he's got purple skin. Big fan of drows with white hair. It's classic.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. I mean, you hit it right where you say, like, they look like alt arts already. Like, you see some of the previous character cards that we've got in the past where it's just the character on a background, and, like, these are, like, they're in dynamic poses, the background's actually got, like, stuff going on. It's beautiful. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with some of these, special art cards. And with that, let's move on to our next character here. We've got Pumat Soul, Magical Proprietor, 6 hand size, 28 health, with inventor and mage keywords, and the symbols air, chaos, and order. Have the enhance once per turn, remove one foundation from your stage, build one asset or backup from your hand. And a response once per turn, discard one card, after you play an attack card, choose one. And there's 3 modes. It gains EX3, your rival commits 2 foundations, and draw 2 cards. What do we think?
That's a UVS card. I think you're gonna be fine. I think more backup play is interesting. I like that they're trying to give backups, more reason to play. Because a lot of the times, I'm gonna be completely honest, most of the backup characters aren't that impactful. I feel like there is, maybe because it's a different type of mechanic than players are used to, so they're not seeing as much play because they're not as obvious. And a lot of the time, like competitive metas go the route of like the most obvious thing that's easy to play around before evolving into, somebody finding something or something left over from a new mechanic or a new card. So I think maybe that's why we're not seeing as much backup. So the fact that they're continuing to try to do like backup support and asset support makes me think that it is a play style they want to last, which gives me good hope for like new things to come out competitively.
I like that they give this guy options on his face, so it adds like another layer of complexity for people who want to play that way. Um, on that last response where you discard and you get to choose one, so you really have to like examine your situation and see what fits best and what's going to get you further ahead, or what's going to like not set up your like rival for their next turn. So not something that I would like to do personally. I think I get like when there's too much for me to think about, it's hard for me to play well, but I know there's some people who really like that extra complexity, so I appreciate that they are kind of trying new things in that way.
For sure, yeah. Options are always good. I do want to go back just a little bit and talking about the backup and asset support and stuff like that. I mean, we talked about it last week. We always want to see them promoting the abilities, the mechanics that we have in the game. Rather, I'd like to see them promoting the mechanics that we have now rather than adding new ones. So we added backups in AOT, and we're continuing with that trend in Exandria. So I love to see that. I'm glad that so far as I can tell, we haven't seen any new mechanics for this set, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I don't mind like a new keyword or two every now and then, or like a subset of a mechanic or something that can like fit in pretty easy, like diplomacy. The diplomacy thing wasn't that big of a deal because it's just like, hey, diplomacy means they pick one of these, and this card says if they do a diplomacy, they pick one of these also. Or whatever. That's fine. I think that's kind of interesting on certain cards and like sub teams, especially because if you built a diplomatic type deck for like multiplayer formats or even just one-on-one, I think that is always a playstyle that some people enjoy, but it doesn't increase the mental load of the game because it's not a whole new mechanic you have to learn that like a whole set is based around.
Yeah, for sure. I think that really just kind of hammers it home. Like you can add these little thing, and I mean, you look at like the diplomacy in Star Trek, right?
Yeah, it was in
yeah.
the I think it was specifically in the Brom, whatever his name is, the generic protagonist looking anime guy.
Gotcha.
I think it was mainly in his deck, but I think that's a fine way to do like a subset of like face around, or like they even did with those decks. They added Frenzy.
Yep.
Frenzy could probably do without, but I like the direction Frenzy takes. I think it also is a unique way to probably solve a problem that I have with the game currently, with like the current meta. I don't mind small stuff like small keyword a small keyword here or there or whatever. I just like whole new mechanics, like backups when they got introduced. I was like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
but they're here now, and so we have to
Yeah.
play with them, and that's fine as long as you're continuing to do stuff with them and let the people that like that mechanic let them play with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I like like you were saying, the little things like the thematic when we got the new Midoriya, we got Vestige, and it really wasn't like a thing outside of Midoriya, but it was thematic to his character. And as of yet, we haven't seen any more level up, but that's thematic to that character. And So yeah, these are new mechanics, but not in the same way that backup and echo and things like that are. So I'm glad to see that we are getting new and exciting stuff that's thematically with like on brand for these characters, but that don't drastically change the game.
Yeah, I think where I kind of draw the line there is like if you're introducing something new and it's got like keywords or some mechanic that is only for that character, like basically if someone wants to play that, they can play that, but like where I start getting kind of frustrated is when I'm expected to know it too, because it affects my gameplay, where it's like diplomacy, for example. I don't think that affects your opponent if you're playing like a deck that runs like diplomacy stuff. Like that's just stuff that you're expected to know, right?
Well, your opponent has to pick options, like
Hmm.
options on the card. They're like diplomacy is like, hey, here's these 3 options. Your opponent picks one,
Yeah.
so
I
you get to choose what mode of this card I get.
I guess that's not too bad. That's like at least you're having to engage your opponent, but it's like I don't want to be expected to memorize all these different keywords and all the different things that they do because it's like I don't have enough space in my brain to like know all of this stuff 100% of the time and expect it 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
100%. I think trying to be competitive and playing in competitive events, there is some amount of like you kind of have to know what's going on. Like I try really hard to know like what cards are being played, like at a glance, which is one thing that makes like when you're watching live streams and stuff, when everybody's like, because everybody puts their fields like different ways, or like cards get covered up, and you're just like, what is that card? Or like you're like, what does that card do? Why is that relevant? If you don't pay attention to that type of stuff, so I always try to, but womp womp. Not everyone wants to do that.
Yeah, I've learned a lot of cards at a glance. I think possibly even to my detriment because I know the most of the important words, but sometimes there'll be subwords that I just kind of don't think about because it doesn't get used very often, or I'll
Like showdown
misremember it,
canceling actions.
like showdown canceling actions, or it happened to me in Atlanta. Eaten by the Bearded Titan. I knew it was Speed Hate. Forgot that I had Tenacious on it, and I lost a game because of it. So I think even if you know what the card does, unless you're just every word on the card, you've played the card yourself. I think it's still useful to read them and make sure that you know what is going on your opponent's stage. Because I definitely have lost games to saying, yeah, I know what that does, and then forgetting what it does.
And then not knowing what it does.
Exactly. All right. Last character here we have Mollymock Tea Leaf, Carnival Hooligan. They are a 6 hand size, 28 health character. Keywords Entertainer, Mighty Nine, and Occultist, with the symbol Death, Void, and Order. They have the Enhanced Tenacious, lose 1 health, your weapon attack gets +1 damage and gains stun 1. And response once per turn, reveal up to 2 cards from your hand, after an attack is played, seal 1 rival foundation for each card revealed this way. Your rival may sacrifice 1 face-up foundation to cancel this effect.
Hoo, hoo, hoo.
This guy looks really cool. I'm excited to try him. Like, he looks really cool visually. I like his style. Like, I usually play these kinds of characters in, like, RPGs anywhere, or, like, gravitate towards them. I like the words on his face. I like that he does stuff with weapons. The symbols, we could have put a chaos on there, and it would have been perfect. But this is okay. Void and Death, I'll take that. I don't even know what that middle symbol is, I'm going to be honest with you.
That's
Okay.
Order.
That's order.
Oh,
Come on now.
yeah, sure.
And we're not editing that out. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, this character, nice. I think losing a health to get a damage and stun 1, barely a cost.
That's
Love
worth.
it.
That's hella worth.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
I think 6 health, 28, 6 hand, 28 health, fantastic, playable. And that enhances Tenacious, nice. And then his other one, the reveal up to 2 cards. Yeah, that's cool. Like sack a foundation to cancel, or I get to seal 1. Most people are probably gonna let you seal 1, which means whatever foundation you don't want to fuck with that turn. Nice.
Mhm.
Yep.
And it's got Death and Order, 2 symbols I really like, and then also Void, which pretty cool symbol. So yeah, I will probably also mess with this one. Quite a bit, because I am also a hooligan.
I think
Yeah,
we're all hooligans.
I think this might be a response on play favorite here because I am super interested in this character as well. And I liked Shoto 4 for ceiling effects. So anytime that I get to play with a character that just says, "Hey, I'm gonna do my best to shut down all of your cool stuff," I definitely want to try it. And weapons, super cool. Got Death. Death got a ton of weapons in the last 2 sets, and they're pretty good. Still get Deception Dagger, so saying Deception Dagger is a stun 3 to open up your turn. Pretty crazy. I think this character's awesome.
Yeah, this guy's got something for all of us here. I'm sorry to tell you guys, you can't have him. You just can't. That's all on me.
I'm pretty sure, and I've got your contract here. You're locked into Godzilla for the next 6 years.
Please,
So
God, no.
I think, well, no, he's going to rotate eventually. We'll call it 3 years. So
Oh my God, I love you,
yeah,
Godzilla, but you can only play
I'm
him so many
no
different ways.
experimenting, no new characters. You're contract locked.
I'm actually also looking at your contract, and it says you're not a. Wow, this is kind of weird. Not allowed to play people with less than 34 health.
No,
Hmm.
no.
He
28
does
is a
have
good
he does
amount.
have 2 paragraphs on his character, so
They're
Jeff can't
short
play him.
paragraph. This is not any longer than the words on Godzilla. It might be longer actually.
I feel
I'm
like it's
wrong. I
longer.
think I'm wrong, but it's fine. Like this is all easy to read. I understand what's going on here. I understand what he's trying to do. Also, like he's
Doesn't
got
understand what one of
hooligan,
his symbols is, but that's
hooligan
fine.
in his name. Oh, listen, I just couldn't remember. I couldn't. I saw it and I was thinking like law. I guess because
Law
order.
and
Yeah, I guess because order is
law and come
law
on, say it
and
with me.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know.
Law and
I can't hear. I gotta go.
yeah, I think this is going to be a response on play favorite. I mean, we might just have to be one of those teams that just plays one character.
That'd be cool. I'd be down for that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, this character
Hooligan?
definitely hooligan,
The hooligan. Let's go.
hooligan, baby. And
Hell yes.
let me channel my inner Andrew for a minute. I don't like hooligan. It sounds too aggressive.
I don't sound like
And
that.
so yeah, I'm definitely in for the hooligan. I will definitely be playtesting this character at least a little bit. I hope he gets a chrome,
Same. My God.
and I hope the chromes for this set are good.
Same. I'm
I
a
don't see how
little
they can't be there. I mean,
I don't
if
know.
they outsource the art the same way they did for these, like that they get commissioned artists to create the chromes as well, they got to be good.
I'm just worried about getting something similar to like Yu Yu
Like Yu Yu
Hakusho.
Hakusho,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, those were rough.
Even though I'm a huge Yusuke stan, big Yusuke stan, love playing Yusuke. I like the character. One of my favorite anime characters for the longest time. Yeah, man, I that Chrome couldn't vibe with it. Could not.
Yeah.
I understand what they were doing. I understand what they were going for. I understand the asset stuff. I also understand that I don't like it. Yeah, if this guy gets a Chrome and it's good looking, I will probably make it my mission to own it.
That's fair. You and probably a lot of other people, so good luck.
All right, and with that, let's move on to the non-character cards here. First one is going to be an action. It's going to be Exploring Amon. It is a 1 diff, 5 check, 2 mid block with the spell keyword, with the 2 enhances. First being enhance if you have 3 or more face down foundations. This attack gets +4 damage, and enhance if your rival has 3 or more face down foundations. This attack gets -3 speed. And this card does have the attuned earth symbol.
Interesting. It's pretty cheap. But I mean for a spell card, like I'm so weird about like my understanding of spell cards because it's like I just don't understand like the economy with them, like when a spell card is good enough to include it, because when you're including a spell card, like you're saying you're not putting a really good foundation or a really good attack in, you know? So it's like I feel like spell cards, or not, sorry, I keep saying spell cards.
mean
I meant
action.
actions, yeah.
Yes.
Blue
okay.
cards.
Blue cards.
Yeah, like anytime you're putting a blue card in there, like you're really taking a lot away from your deck, so they gotta be good. Like you gotta get a real big return on them. So I don't know. I guess 4 damage is pretty good, and so is -3 speed. It's just I just never know with action cards.
Yeah, this is one that does not remove itself, so if you play it, it's stuck in your card pool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It is a common, so it's not going to be crazy broken or anything like that. But I think the words on it are passable for sure. And if you're a character that flips your cards, or I mean, your your opponent's typically going to have 3 face down foundations if you're at any point in the game. So I think it's probably always going to get some use. It just depends if it's good enough when you could just have a foundation that does, -2 or -3 speed.
Mm.
Yeah, honestly, I think on Earth, something that gives minus speed and enhance is probably fine. It is -3 and it goes in the card pool, so it's kind of like -2. It's probably fine. It's a 2 mid block, so it's got a couple uses. It is a common, and it can just give you 4 damage, and 4 damage out of nowhere is massive.
Yeah, I think it's passable. I don't know. I'll have to do some looking. Like I saw this and immediately was like, could possibly be good in Ochako. Looking at it, I don't know. It clogs the card pool. I don't know. I don't know if it makes the cut, but I'm interested to see what people come up with about it. So up next we have Death Rattle, 2 difficulty, 5 check, 2 high block, with response. After one of your backups is destroyed, your rival loses 1 health, and the deadlock form commit. Destroy 1 non-unique rival foundation as the attuned death symbol. We have seen this card before. This was an AOT 1 foundation with some new art from solo leveling, which looks really good.
Really good art.
Yeah, that looks great. I love any art that's just full and like stretches to all corners. Like this just looks so clean.
Yep. I would guess that this may possibly be our upcoming monthly promo, which I would be super okay with getting some more backup support in the new set. I think this card might have some value now.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of backup stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we get, I'm fully okay getting cards that are reskin versions of cards we've currently gotten, but 1 in this beautiful treatment, and 2 with other IPs.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, they did that with was it the set 3 reprints, if I'm remembering it right? They reprinted some cards but gave them to different characters, or they've done it with promos in the past where they've done a promo alt art, but it was for a different character than the card was originally arted for.
I know when we got the promo for Hacker Extraordinaire, which was a Cowboy Bebop card, yes, it brought it into my hero, but that's exactly what I like to see, and the fact that I can use my my Ed Hacker Extraordinaires from Cowboy Bebop.
I don't think I've seen those. I've only ever seen the My Hero ones.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them either. We'll have to take a look at those. Let's see look it up real quick. Andrew, can we get that on screen?
Yeah.
To look and see.
It doesn't have the block zone, so you have to treat it as an eroded block zone.
Oh, is
But
this like an older card?
Yeah, it's from the original Cowboy
From the
Bebop
original.
set.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, this looks good. I
Yeah,
like
it
that.
does.
Moving on here, we have the next card, Found Family, which is a foundation. It is a 2 difficulty, 6 check, 2 low block with the ally keyword and the attuned air symbol. And it has response flip, : after your rival's attack deals no damage, your rival's next attack gets -2 damage.
I don't know that this is good. It's a 6 check, which is cool, but like a 2, that's expensive.
Yeah, I
For
definitely feel
-2
like this is like
damage?
I
And you
feel like this
flip?
is a spam foundation card,
Is it a spam
but
at 2?
but it was but it was like I feel like it's a spam foundation card, but then they gave it a 2 difficulty.
Oh,
So
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, I think that if this were a 1, if it were a 1 diff 6 check, I think this card would be really good.
Yeah. Cute art, though.
yeah, as always, art looks good.
Yeah.
Playability not so much, at least
I
not
mean,
to me.
it could maybe. It just depends. Like it's on the air symbol, so
Mhm.
I don't know. It could probably be fine at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. I just flip for -2 damage on a 2 diff. Like I'm thinking of like a 2 diff air cards. You got nice try. Like there's just if I'm eating up a 2 diff slot, like I want it to do work.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I don't know that this does it.
Is that not in the art? Is that who that is? Or no, this
I,
is a different goblin character, huh?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. Our resident D&D expert is not.
That
here
is
today.
No.
racist. I don't think you can just say, "Oh, this is a goblin."
Oh boy.
The art's fine. I don't mind the Baby Yoda card.
It does look
Baby
like Baby
Yoda.
Yoda. Oh, I hate you now.
But I don't. Yeah, I think for a 2 difficulty card, I think I'm with James. It does kind of need to do a little bit more. Like you have stuff like Nice Try that minuses speed and readies itself on your opponent's turn.
That is a 2-diff, isn't it? God.
Yes,
Or-
it is.
Or, hear me out, if I completely block or it deals no damage, -2 damage to your next attack. One
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, like why do you have to flip it?
If it wasn't flippable, maybe that's the thing. If it didn't flip, maybe if it was like a
Response
once per
command.
turn or a twice per turn, or commit maybe. But flip, I don't. A 1-use 2-diff. That think about the other 2 diffs that we have. That's 1 use. You have like Broken Psyche that says reset their damage to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, you have to spend a momentum for that.
true. So you have a little bit more cost, but it's the 1-use 2 check or 2 diff. Like if I'm getting 1 use out of my 2 diffs, like it's got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if you're flipping a card, it's essentially supposed to be like this effect is so good that you're only allowed to use it once per copy.
Yeah.
And this is not that effect.
Yeah, -2 damage is like meh.
All right. Next one we have here is Woodland Distraction. Another foundation. 1 check or 1 diff 6 check, 2 low block with the Earth attuned symbol. Response tenacious. After this card is unflipped, your rival commits 1 foundation.
I see one application for this, and I don't know if it actually applies, but Ochako 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like seems like
Yep.
that. It's a 6 check and it's a 1 diff, and you do be unflipping cards.
To be unflipped. Yep. I can flip it for stats, unflip it, make you commit 1, flip it for stats
Yeah,
again.
this seems
I
like an
think-
auto include.
I think this definitely makes the list.
What other characters unflip cards? A lot of them? I don't know.
There's really not a whole lot of unflip. There is Falling Heel Strike.
There's not a lot of cards that do like unflipping stuff, but there might be more cards that unflip in the set.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
sure.
maybe one of these 2 characters here. Is this supposed to be Vax and Vex? I can't tell.
I have no clue who these people are.
Once
Again.
again,
Resident D&D expert, not here.
Yeah.
But based on that, I feel like we are probably going to get at least 1 character that can unflip or has unflipping in their kit or something like that. Because if they wouldn't print this with no support.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one that we have here, Mystic Recovery. It is a 2 difficulty 5 check, 3 low block with the attuned water symbol. Response flip. At the end of your combat phase, if you did not play an attack this turn, gain 3 health, ready 3 foundations, and add 3 cards from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck.
I think it's supposed to say to the
2,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's 2.
That kind of threw me a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. 3 cards from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck.
So this is just like I'm building this turn, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like
yeah,
This is so let's look at our 2 diff.
yeah.
Let's look at our 2 diff that we had before, -2 damage. And then this 2 diff that says gain 3, ready 3, add 3 cards back into your deck. So that's what I'm talking about. Like if I'm playing a 2 diff, like it has to do something. And this card definitely does something.
Yeah,
so
it does like 3 things at least.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this art is literally Andrew editing this podcast later. It's the face he makes every time. The best part of Andrew not being here is he can't defend himself.
Thanks, Obama.
yeah. This is definitely the face he makes when he's editing the podcast. Like at 100%. Like the amount of times when I'm like, "Hey, did you get that done?" As I like peek in on him, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm having to edit a couple extra stuff, move stuff around." And I'm just like, "All right, buddy."
Or Andrew, we love you. Thank you for doing what
Well,
you do.
James and Steph, or at least James loves you.
I love Andrew when he's not playing Toya, but it's on site when he's playing Toya.
It's on site when he plays Toya.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of card that Andrew would like, I feel like, because it's just like, I'm going to be really defensive, and I'm going to wait for you to make a move, and I'm just
And
gonna...
it's on water. Imagine
Yeah.
this in Toya.
I don't want to.
This says his Toya gets to build,
Oh.
and it gains the health back.
Oh my god. Obnoxious. I hate this.
Yeah, this card. I think this card's pretty decent. I think on the water symbol, having a card just goes, I didn't get to swing at you, and that's okay. I'm gonna ready these foundations I had to tap to play more foundations, and I'm ready to defend you.
Yeah, I guess just trying to think of because unless you're just playing like super high difficulty attacks, foundations, I don't really see you tapping many cards. So I guess this could work if you have like frozen stuff as well.
Yeah.
I mean, plus on top of that, if you're playing like 3, it gives you, if you're playing this, gives you the room to play a couple extra 2s. Because like there is times where I'm like, oh well, my second foundation, I'm tapping 1 because I checked an attack. And like stuff like that. And like I'm constantly being made fun of for playing too many 2 difficulties and stuff in my decks. So
that's true. You could just slam a bunch of 2s.
Yeah, you just slam a bunch of 2s and play this and just go, oh yeah, well, I know I had a bunch of 2s, but now I'm not punished for it. So
Also, are there like action spell cards that you can play that are not enhance? Because that might like work with this too.
yeah, this is just not playing an attack. So
Yeah, so
there
you
are
go into,
ones you can play in like form and
form.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a setup card, which is kind of scary because they're making good on Universus is making good on what they were saying about not wanting the game to end on turn 2 when they're showing me cards
All
like
right.
this.
Hear me out, Steph. So we got a scenario here. You put this in Godzilla.
Okay.
You play your city rampage. You check a 3 and decide to end your
Just to
turn. You
end
did
my
not
turn.
play an attack. You get to ready those cards back.
This is my get out of jail free card.
Hell yeah.
That would be funny. Don't know if it would be good, but it would be funny.
Right. And with that, that's going to wrap up the end of the reveals that we have here today.
How many characters are there going to be in the set? Do we know?
I don't think we know just yet. I think it's usually around 13.
Oh, okay. So we've only seen like maybe half from reveals then. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then yeah, we've probably only seen about half. And there's like a lot of reveals coming. Like
I
Universus.
wouldn't even say we've even seen half. Like
Really?
we've maybe seen a little under half. Yeah, because there's usually more than that. Like Dark Tournament had like 20 characters.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
did it really? Maybe it was just the most recent AOT set that only had like 13 or 14.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got quite a bit to go for characters then.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. These have been very heartening. Like I like the look of pretty much all of these, except for the ones that have a lot of text. Don't really care about those guys.
Don't really care about anybody that I have to
Classic.
read.
Yeah.
Stay classy stuff.
Always.
Yeah, I think that really realistically, I think these characters look kind of cool. There's a couple in here I think are neat. The meta breakdown was really cool. Definitely expected to kind of mirror the US a little bit. And I'm glad we're getting more events. Also, I'm really glad about the justice symbol.
The
Justice symbol.
We can just call it the law symbol.
Law symbol. With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I do want to encourage you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us down below what is your favorite symbol, and if you want your favorite deck that you played on that symbol. I'm really curious to see what your answer is. Again, want to thank everybody that revealed these cards. Again, go check out their content, give them some love, let them know that you like what they do. All of us, content creators, UVS, we all work to make the game better, bring you the best information. I want to make sure that that's appreciated. And one final note here, next weekend will be our Nats here in the US, so there will not be a Response on Play episode. However, we are going to be there. So if you see us, come say hi. We'd love to, hear any feedback that you guys have for us. Love to meet you guys. As well as we're going to be doing a little bit of recording while we're down there. So missing the podcast, we will have other content coming up as soon as we get back to kind of give you guys some coverage about what's going on there, how the event went, how it went for us personally, and everything that we're going to be doing down there. It's going to be a great time. Again, if you see us, come say hi. We'd love to meet you. With that, this has been Response on Play.
I'm Steph. We should probably get Andrew down now.
Hey, give me my ice cream.
I've been Jake. He'll sort it out. Editing's for the birds.
And I'm James. I'm just the other guy.